A member of Donald Trump's administration says immigration enforcement agents must be allowed to continue wearing masks. This comes as the Democrats push for reforms to how immigration enforcement agents conduct themselves during operations. Of course, a number of these have been very contentious. Rachel Clayton joins us now from Washington. Rachel, good morning. Why does the Trump administration want agents continuing to wear masks?
Good morning. Well, according to Tom Homan, it is to protect themselves so these agents don't get doxxed. There has been allegations of agents being threatened and being targeted by people online, their families being targeted, and then demonstrators showing up outside their house. And Tom Homan's comments come, as you said, Democrats are really pushing for these key reforms to immigration enforcement agents and how they conduct their operations. So they're using a funding bill right now for the Department of Homeland Security as leverage to push through these specific reforms. That did fail on Friday, local time. They couldn't come to an agreement with their Republican counterparts on these reforms, and so the Department of Homeland Security, as of midnight on Friday, is now conducting itself with no funding going forward. Tom Homan spoke this morning and he defended his agents. This is a bit of what he had to say about why masks are still needed.
You know, ICE will briefly detain and question somebody based on reasonable suspicion. It has nothing to do with racial profiling. As far as the mask, look, I don't like the masks either, but because threats against ICE officers are up over 1,500%. Actual assaults and threats are up over 8,000%. These men and women have to protect themselves. As far as identifying themselves,
the Democrats are also calling for not just a ban on masks, but they want body-worn cameras to be mandatory. They want a code of conduct for these agents to agree to, and they want an end to racial profiling of the people that they arrest and detain. Tom Homan has denied that that is happening, saying that people are arrested and detained based on reasonable suspicion. He also made some quite striking comments this morning on operations going on elsewhere. So we know there's been a lot of action in Minnesota and Minneapolis. We know that there has been a very rapid drawdown of agents in the state of Minnesota in the wake of the two deaths we've seen of Alex Pretti and Renee. But he has not ruled out similar operations in other cities, saying that agents need to, quote, flood the zone of sanctuary cities. Those are cities that are named for being usually democratically led and are very open to immigrants. And so he has almost issued a warning that other cities in America are not going to be immune to this kind of action just because there's been this drawdown in Minneapolis. But we are unfortunately not going to see any movement on any reforms to ICE or to Border Patrol and how they operate for at least another week, because senators have left the city. It's very quiet here in Washington right now. They're not back for another 7 to 8 days. So there won't be any changes next week, but the following week, when the State of the Union address by President Trump is due, maybe the week we start to see some sort of substantial change in how these operations are carried out going forward.